The body shell is back with us. The reason we're doing this is A, because we think it'll be easier. You right? This is obviously the rear axle. Excellent, you see? We're putting the engine in! Okay. Sometimes I just wish you'd go and make a cup of tea, all right?
Can we get on?
Hello, my workshop chums. Yes, it's that stage in the build where I get loads of parcels that come into the workshop, and I love it because it's like Christmas. Just to remind you, those of you who've caught us kind of midway through the project, we are restoring a 1974 MGB Roadster, one of the last of the chrome-bumpered cars, to its former glory. And we're at the stage where we have a rolling chassis all painted. The reason it's covered up, though, is partly because, obviously, we want to protect the bodywork, but also because the colour has had mixed receptions. Some people love it, including me, and you love it, don't you? Yeah, they love it. You can see they're kind of still making up their minds. But other people kind of don't like it so much. Now, you've got to use your imagination, OK? It's not finished yet, and when it is, it will have a red leather interior. Now, that is going to look very classy. But one of the blokes who's commented on this car said that he thought it was like we'd just clear-coated the primer. And that was the bloke who painted it. So stick with me on this one. Now, today we've got loads of little jobs to do to be able to move the project on, the first of which is to rebuild the heater. This is the old heater box that came out of the car. Now, nothing essentially wrong with this in itself. We could have restored it and renovated it. But heaters have always been the Achilles heel of MGBs because, frankly, they're rubbish. So, we've gone for an upgrade, and it's all in bits. So a bit of unpacking, and then we'll put it together. No instructions. But the good thing is I have got the old one to copy, and actually taking it apart is quite fun in its own right, because you suddenly see how horrible it all is in here. Essentially, it's a very simple box, this, with a big hole in this end, which air is drawn through from the outside by this fan. The air then passes through this bit, which is a heater matrix, which has hot water from the engine flowing through it. It's like a mini little radiator. Now, the important thing with this is that you can see that there is some very decayed, horrible old foam around this matrix here, and that's to try and seal it into the box, because obviously if air goes around the outside of the matrix, it completely short-circuits the system and doesn't pick up any heat from the water. So, pretty horrible, you have to admit. But it's a good map, if you like, to rebuild it with the parts we've now got here. The two big things that are upgraded are first the fan, and you can see just physically it is bigger, so it's going to move more air. But secondly is the matrix itself. This is the new matrix, and if I just rotate it, you can see on the edge there, if you can see those bars running through, there are 8 cores in there. Compare that to the old one, you can see there's only 5 cores in there. So an upgraded matrix and an upgraded fan should solve the problem, but it's how you put it together is going to make it efficient. And the first job is to cover it in this stuff. Right, with all those bits cut, all I've got to do now is fit the motor and the fan to the lid, screw it all together, we have a slight problem here. This is a good reason why, when you build one of these, you do need to test it before you put it in the car, because that's not a good sound, is it, Les? And what's actually...
It's like a diesel.
Exactly. A 2-stroke. The fan's hitting one of the baffles in here very slightly. What it's done is hook off one of the balance weights that you can see is a little silver weight that's on the fan. So that's in there somewhere. We've got to take the lid back off, find the balance weight, reinstate it, and then make a minor adjustment to the baffle, which will involve the use of a very small hammer. So there's that, and that is where it's been hitting. The fan itself is fouling on the baffle in here. If you look at it from the back, the whole fan looks as if it's too far that way. And nowhere in the instructions did it say you can't set 2 with a hammer. There are going to be people who are horrified by the fact we're doing this, but it's spot welded here, so go on. Ready? Oh, yeah. Next thing is then to fit it. It's a bit of a 2-man job. So it's got to go in at that angle, isn't it? It's going to pull this seal off the back now. The front of it, I can't drop any more because it's got the fixing plate for the bulkhead on the heater box. That's not going to go, Les.
It's miles out.
At all. The corner of that bracket needs to come off. Let me just check the box, the other one.
What's the bracket like for the cable?
Like that.
What's that you got in your hand?
That's a big foam that's not on there, is it?
No.
So that must be a seal on the inside of there.
Well, inside between the heater box
between that and the bulkhead.
bulkhead.
Right, OK. Well, we haven't got one of these, so that's not in the kit, which means...
Should it be in the kit?
Well, it's a kit, isn't it? I'm sure it should be, because I said it should have all the gaskets and everything. Well, I need to get one of those, which means we can't actually fit that now, but also, the interesting thing is, if you look at that bracket, the way that's curved aggressively around there, that radius, that one is almost square. It's that corner that fouls on the bodywork. So...
Modification.
What I thought was going to be a really straightforward, simple job that would get us rolling on to other jobs today has kind of gone horribly wrong. So, we've got to do the bracket, I've got to get the gasket, we'll leave it for now. What should we move on to?
Pedal box.
Excellent. Because that's going to be really straightforward, isn't it?
Yes.
Correct
yes,
answer.
Mark.
Correct answer. Yes, you get a prize.
This is the MG-SV. It's got a Ford 5-litre V8 engine, and that gives you nearly 400 horsepower. Overall performance will give you 175 miles per hour. The acceleration will be under 5 seconds. But one of the benefits of this car is the carbon fibre construction, which makes it extremely light for a car of this size. It's a superb driving experience. It's extremely